All right, so now we want to gum the female short. Now, I believe most of us as well must have watched the video on the men gumming. Now, the procedure or the process it took is still the same process it will still take here. Now, I just need to show this so that you will confirm and be sure that this is how it's being done. Now, the next thing you will do as well is to pick up your paper gum or your gum stay, then bring out half an inch or 1 inch as well. Then place it on the notch pocket points. Now we agree to have pockets on this our highway shot. Then cut the gum in this form. Then after this, you cool off your iron as well, right? So don't allow iron to ruin the success of your work. Be very mindful of it. Then gum it properly this way, just 1 inch, 1.5 inch on the diagonal form, that way. Then also turn it over to the other side. Then still take the gum as well. Then place it as well in this same direction. You have notched your pocket and then cut it off this way and then you gum. Now, the more you do this consistently, the more you become friendly with them. The often you sow these things, the more they become nothing to you. But if you just sow them once and run away, it will still be a very big work next time you visit the short sowing, right? So the reason I'm taking my time to explain this to us is for us to see how the shorts are made, because I have not really made videos on short making except trousers and some other stuff, right? So you also notch from here. So notch notch out here. That place with notch initially. I'm trying to make the gum not to seal it properly. Then iron out in this form, right? Iron out in this form. Then so now you come out properly, clean off your iron and gum properly, right? Then you must make sure it's properly gummed. Then or folded rather. Then fold here as well, the same way you did the other shots. Then you iron out all through this way. Then once you have ironed out all through this, then you're done with the front panel gumming. Then if you still notice or observe some rumples on your fabric, you can iron them out now so that you have a smooth sewing when you are stitching. So just iron out any excesses or any rumples on the fabric is very important as well. So you iron out properly, right? Then after you must have done this, then you bring in the band, right? The band, we agreed to have a band of 2 inches. So we cut this at 5.5, right? So you cut out a gum. Now this gum will be like 3 inches or 3.5 inch width. So you cut the gum in that form, right? It must not cover the totality of the band, but it must be above the half measurement of your band. So you cut it out in this form. Then you also cut out the remaining that will be enough to cover the total length. Then after you must have done that, then of course you place the gum in this form and then you gum as well. Then make sure that the sticky effects or the damp effects must appear on all through the positions of the gum. If you are gumming it, you are going to notice a sticky or a damp effect that will be coming out. That means that the gum has melted and it has stick strongly to the cloth, right? If it's still white, gum it until that sticky damp effect will appear. So once you are done doing this, go gradually, go all through to this point. Then once you are done doing this, now the next thing you will do is you um, Make sure you complete the gum in this form. You complete the gum in this form. Then place this one this way, right? Place it this way, and then cut the gum to lap 1 inch or half inch above or on top of the first gum you have made. Don't do the joining to be in this form. It will cause a break at that point. Make the gum to lap 1 inch or half inch above this way and not to lap too much. 1 inch is enough, right? So once that 1 inch is enough, then you gum all through that way. You gum all through that way. Then after you must have done this, now the next thing you will do is to start folding one edge by the same half an inch. Now make sure that your folding does not exceed half an inch, and make sure you fold from the front upwards and not from upwards downwards, right? It's easier to control in this way than folding the other way around. Then after you must have done that, drag the band to come down again. If the band is too long, then keep folding this way. Now the trick I'm using my thumb to fold, and then have kind of a gauge of the size while I fold outrightly. The foldings might look simple, but then it's not that simple if you don't know how to go about it. Then we agreed that the band folding will be 2 inches width, right? So you must now fold back the 2 inches you deducted, or rather we deducted, or whatsoever inch you used in your deduction of your high waist. So 2 inches is what we used. I must make sure that this band is covering 2 inches width. As you can see, it's covering, right? Then from there, you start folding. Also cool your iron whenever you have dropped it out for some seconds. Then you fold this way, you fold, you fold all through that way. Then make sure that when you're folding, you are retaining the same size as you move forward, right? So now you also continue the folding and make sure that your band remains the 2 inches that we agreed that is what we are going to use, right? So make sure it remains the 2 inches. So have it properly folded. Then you can still put your tape and measure while folding, right? So just put your tape that way and measure across. Then if you go halfway, you cross check if it's still giving you 2 inches. So I think it's increasing a bit. I will reduce it here small, slightly. So just adjust this slightly while you fold. So I think this is the width we are having. Then after this now, the next thing you will do is to fold the excesses under. So make sure the band is straight enough and is equal as much as possible, right? Then you now fold the end of this on top of each other this way. Make sure it doesn't um, um, it's not equal, right? That's why you need to fold it first on top, so that that folding effect will be taken proper care of. Then after this way, so the next you will do now is you open it up this way, and then make sure that the one under is still bigger, no matter how little it is, right? It must be bigger. It must be bigger. We can never be equal that way. Then it's advisable that you iron again, lastly from the back, to smoothen the back in case there's any rumple appearing on the back. So smoothen it again. So smoothen it again from the back. Then after you must have done this, now the next you will do now is I think you're done with the female gumming because there's no wet pockets on this. So I don't normally add wet pockets, patch pockets at the back. So just gum the pocket area, the band, and that is the only thing you need. Then there's no bait loop because we are agreed to use a size zip. Then your front pockets, and then that is the only thing we need to do on this. So I hope this video must have shown you how to gum the male shorts and the female shorts. So the next videos we'll be seeing now will be on how to sew these two shorts. Thank you for watching.